Howdy, howdy, howdy. We are back. I'm Fish. That is Jack.
Hello again. It's been a couple of weeks.
It has. We're back finally. I know you all missed us. Thank you for all those who reached out with the messages saying how much they enjoyed the stream and wanted to see us back. We thought we'd jump in and have a chat. We're still not quite ready with round one because we're still missing a couple players. But we are fresh off of Newport.
Yeah, it was a very good 20-player store championship over in Newport. Quite a few of us went, and then there was some. I think the Bristol lot went as well. A couple of people here from Bristol.
Yeah, exactly that. Interesting. James Kinney, big congratulations to him taking first place in that. Mono Fire.
Yeah, really running his Mono Fire to great success. I know he had some changes he'd made after doing some testing last week, and it definitely paid off for him.
Absolutely. So what we got? Second place, CJ.
CJ, one of the new players down here in Cardiff, coming second in with his Mono Ice deck. Not a testing in for a few weeks. You always hate ice.
I hate Discard, man. Discard is cruel.
Yeah, very, very good game there. Good final to watch between the two of them. And then third and fourth we had...
four bats, sort of 4-colour wall,
and then a Cat 8 deck. Ice Lightning.
So big shout out to those guys again. Kitty obviously walking away with the majority of the buys. CJ in second. I came Jacob place again, just in case you were all wondering.
I think I came 11th for 12 that one. didn't do myself very well.
Yeah. All I can say is ban Gigawall.
That's what I played.
Yeah, you don't say. But
it is what it is.
In the meantime, guys, we are going to be bringing you 4 rounds again of some of the top players in the world in Final Fantasy. Most of them are probably going to be playing some, Giga Wall, 4-color wall. No Cat 8 this week because he sat next to me.
Yeah, I'm not playing it.
Unless Chris shows up, maybe.
There should be a couple of different decks here. I imagine 4-color is still probably going to be the majority of play. It seems to be one of the most consistent decks at the moment. Yeah,
exactly. And Jacob, thank you for joining us. The problem with Ice is people like you playing it. It's pretty much the problem. My argument would be I think the Dolph Freeze mechanic is too weak. And quite frankly, I think that in a game where you're limited to 5 cards, you have to discard to pay for stuff. Having discard means you can't play the game. You're just watching someone play Solitaire at that point. That's my problem with it. Also, hey, thank you again. Decahedron for joining us.
You look forward to the games this evening?
Yeah, obviously we will be bringing you round 1 as soon as we know who and what is playing.
Speaking of Ice, though, it's quite interesting seeing the variety of cards that are seeing played. Like, you've obviously got the discard and the dull and freeze from like Rufus that does both and things like that, but obviously you've got some other cards that are popping up. The Shantoto seeing a bit more play now and things like that, which are just recursion, or you've got the new backup line where it's damage increase, damage buffs and things like that. So there's quite a variety there in Ice that's going around.
I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with CJ's list because obviously he does have that sort of option to play aggro, or you can choose to just play it mid-range. There's that really nice balance between it. It's still obviously playing some of the sort of old school stuff, like I think it was like Weiss Nero and Biblos and things like that as well. So.
I can't remember if Weiss Nero was in the deck, but I know Biblos was with the Phasalis going off for it.
Scaletoad, maybe.
I think Scaletoad was in there as a one-of just for some added pressure, which is a card that's dropped off a little bit in Ice now. It seems like because most decks are binning out their hand anyway. The threat of sticking with 2 or more in hand isn't that bad. Or if you finish with 5 in hand, you lose 1, but you still have another 4 to play with.
It was really interesting to see his game a couple of weeks ago on stream where he was against Paul, and it was Gigawall, and he went, Orphan?
Yes,
it did so good, to be fair.
Paul basically had to play with the 2 cards he drew every turn, which when your whole deck costs 3... can't really play anything there, so we got a bit stuck.
Yeah, exactly that.
We're still getting ready for our round 1. I think they're sorting out the draws and that.
Still waiting on Preston. We actually got some more new players joining us tonight as well, which is
I think there's 2 or 3 new players here, so the scene here is definitely growing, considering our average group base is probably over the 30s at this point.
Yeah, because we were we can't average 30 a night, but now potentially 35 to 40 almost.
Yeah, maybe. We're slowly growing as a bigger group.
Yeah, guys, obviously as well. Cardiff Regionals will be held the 22nd
of June. Yeah, so next month, a couple of weeks away.
64 tickets are on the line at the moment, but Gav said they can go more if the demand is there. So get your tickets. Freya will be behind the calf doing good food as always. And
it's a great venue, and you can see a lot of the highlights and stuff from it if you look back probably at when the Winter Cup was. I know there was a lot of pictures that went up for the venue on the Europe page and probably the UK page as well.
Yep, and it'll be me streaming again. He'll be playing, so I will be joined by Taylor in the commentary booth. So we're just going to sit there and not play Gigawall.
I'll pop on when I inevitably get knocked out before top 8.
Whatever helps, we might even have a group thing going on. People that just want to join in.
Do some fun group streams as it goes on further in the day.
As well, guys, a big shout out to you lot for obviously joining us on the weekly basis. We are 494 subs, and there is Dan Haben. Look at him, he is magnificent. That's a nipple. 494 subscribers on the YouTube. So, guys, please give us a like, share, subscribe. We are 500 sub target in range, and that is our first sort of goal, obviously. So please hit us up with that. We look like we have everyone.
Looks like the draw's about to go up.
Just waiting on Gareth to hand me a slip to tell us what's going to be around one. We're live. Clouters, come have a chat. What's going on?
I don't know what's taking them so long at this point.
We're waiting for Preston. That was what's taking so long. It's fine.
I suppose that FF...
When? That won't count. You. Friendlies don't count for nothing. Sorry.
Nah, it's always the proper games that are where everything matters. You can win 7 games in practice, then you'll lose the best of 1 to them anyway. Is always the way.
That happened to you earlier, Jack?
It happens a lot to me. Yes. My practice never goes well. It's like I've never drew this badly before in my life, and then the next game it's like I've drew even worse.
I understand that completely.
Skill issues.
It is. I'm not stacking my deck correctly.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me an elevator side or?
Yeah, please. Are you usual? Sure.
He's probably playing his Ice Earth Monsters.
I don't know if he's trying something new,
Well-
but we'll have to wait and see because he was after an Irvine, so it might be his Ice Earth.
Well,
Lightning.
guys, if you didn't hear, we have got Preston, who's just literally walked through the door, playing his Icewind Storm against Connor, who we don't actually know what he's playing at the moment. Hopefully he comes over and tells us.
If he doesn't, I'll quickly run over.
It's
Ice Earth, okay.
Ice Earth that he won the Cardiff Store Championship with.
Yep.
So
It showed it off quite well. Really piloted it to the top level and won all his games quite solidly. Always had an answer for pretty much what anybody was doing.
yeah, I mean, the thing is he's always been that sort of methodical player anyway, but with the deck as it is, it allows for a lot of removal, a lot of board wipes. What more could you want, really, you know?
Well, his stream games against Chris showed that it was kind of whichever route Chris went of a longer game or an aggro game, he always kind of had an answer to with Shantotos and Cymru for board wipes and just the amount of discard and dull and freeze that deck can do if the game goes along.
Yeah,
But it'd be interesting to see how it can do against Icewind Storm because that is also a deck that notoriously can go for quite a long game.
Yeah, this could be an interesting one because I think the sort of control aspect is in both opponents' favour. So, guys, we will switch over to gameplay table now and let's get you round 1. Sorry about us waffling because we were just bored, so we wanted to chat.
Hope you enjoyed our thorough conversations.
Yeah, well, I thought we would just chat to you guys instead of just chatting to ourselves. Make it a bit more interesting. Obviously, guys, any questions along the way, do feel free to ask. If you just to join in from anywhere random, let us know where you're joining from as well. Because
Hope you enjoy the watching and listening to us waffle and the views of the games.
yeah, exactly. So, round 1, Preston on the left, Icewind Storm. Connor on the right with his Ice Earth.
Don't forget your LV deck there, Connor.
Yeah.
An important part.
Definitely needs that. So, who we got going first?
It's always the joys. You can never tell who picked what.
Yeah.
Just have to wait and see what they draw here. And
It looks like Connor
Definitely.
might be set. He's got Toto, Unalesca.
Unalesca is probably the great turn 1 player if he keeps the hand. He's got Biblos in there as well, which he can start immediately getting advantage off of.
Yeah, exactly that. So it looks like Preston's on the plate. And here we go.
It's a shame I can't quite see what is in his hand at all, but I imagine his initial turns, he'll still be always looking for that Mog 11. What are the other? Chocolate.
Yeah. Now, we have seen, obviously, Preston struggling to get his ICP down pretty early, but not today, because he has gone as double backer.
Okay.
Wow, so...
Ice Moogle can tap for wind as well, though, can't it? So he is technically still colour fixed.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's... God, this uke, right? Is that the right uke? I don't even know.
It's the one that reveals until you find a wind card.
That one.
Which was probably, I think, the first card he flipped there. It's one that really digs quite well.
Yeah. So Yeah, both opponents can be done with freezing. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how relevant that Shantotto will be in Connor's hand.
The Mist Dragon he's got, I think you'll have to keep hold of because the Lulu recurring summons and things like that can really do a number there.
Yeah, let's
Pass straight over.
Chocobo.
Pass. Probably the Rosa here to start getting the cast count going.
Yeah.
Chocobo, really good card. Just the only limitation of character. It's caught a few people out, especially me. Ice. What else has he got? Is he going Sid Hayes here if he's got one in hand?
Might be a little bit. Ooh, maybe. Yeah. No, he's just
Rosa.
Rosa. So,
And then into Zidane for cast 3 to steal an Adia.
Oh. Adia's an interesting one in this.
And a Seymour on the swing.
Is this
hitting
ice?
a Shantotto?
Yeah, so this is actually 3 colour on Connor's behalf here. I'm guessing he wants.
Yes, he has been looking at that. He's talked about it the last couple of weeks. There's a couple of lightning cards in there because obviously the backup Rydia can grab you the Seymour. You get some good summons at Irvine, and the K package is also pretty good now.
I would be careful if you're pressing here, obviously diluting your backups. You don't really want to do that too much. But I think, yeah, this is a perfect time for that Toto.
Toto immediately. But that is burning a lot of Connor's hand.
The thing is, he needs the colour fixing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like, it's a Rosa gone and a Zidane gone.
That does, and that puts him up to 2 backups now, matching Preston.
Not that I'm,
For one.
unpositive against Zidane or nothing, but I would definitely destroy it.
Ban that card.
How Taylor's saying that we got bad static. How bad are we talking here, mate?
I can say everything's. I can't obviously hear myself is the problem.
Yeah, sorry guys, you just have to kind of deal with it.
Go up to 4 backups there straight away from Connor, Emina into the Arcanist.
Arcanist is a nice little tech card off of the back of that, because these days that can stop walls pretty much dead in their tracks. So
Not going to shut the most amount of things down from wind, though. I imagine they've got a lot of 2-drops, but I'm not quite sure how else it would go, because they do obviously like Lulu and Rosa 3-drops. There's quite a variety there.
Sure. Right. Well, guys, we are going to try and work on the sound problems as we go, but sadly, don't know how much of that we can actually do.
So still pressing on here. Got Evray and Atomos out, so monsters are both online for Preston. He's got 3 backups with his colour fix. Izana in for forward, going straight into Tyro. So what does he get here off of the Tyro, do you think?
It's a good question. I mean, has he got something like Monster Break? Maybe a Gilgamesh would be pretty good if he's got it, but I don't think he does. He's thinking Irvine though.
Irvine or the Larkagus? Yeah, so Larkagus looks to be the option here. What options has he got in his break zone? I think it's just the Biblos at this point. Unless he's using it as something to discard with. Tapping 3. Scale Toad. Okay, so applying some wind pressure to. Applying some discard pressure to Preston to make him kind of bin his hand out all the time now where possible. Or limit the amount of casts he can do. So straight back into the Rosa, off the fresh draw. Untap Chocobo Izana back to hand, so that gets the draw off the Chocobo and then the double untap from the Atomos here.
Yeah.
I think he's choosing what he wants to untap here. I think he's always going to have to be at least 1 ice backup just in case you can draw a lock or something after.
Yeah, so we've hit the Rosa trigger. The thing is, obviously, you've got to be careful about how many cards you're keeping in hand because of that Scale Toad.
Yeah, I think Preston will probably be looking at probably ending on 0 this turn now.
Yeah, exactly like that. So
Getting another Chocobo here, which he can cast once again.
I mean, do you...
Or do you just pass with 4 up and it in hand? There's nothing really LB-wise that's worth playing here because it's be VIKTORA, Surges, or the Wind cards, which the less said about those, I think, at the moment, the better.
I mean, still, Ace is a board wipe the Wind can get. Just saying, so...
So he is going for the Chocobo back into the Izana.
Is he trying to hit the Rosa cast trigger?
So if he hits a Zidane here, though, that will be pretty big again because it will come in with haste again.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like he has for 3 Lulu, so he's still going here, but that's only cast 4.
Oh,
So Zana will get him up to 5.
reactivate, maybe get the Sedan back now the hard way. But again, he's still got 2 in hand. He will have to discard one of them, so he does have to be kind of careful.
Yeah, Atomos not ready to be a forward. He's still got 1 up.
So we're hitting the cast 5 trigger. Looks like we're gonna, on the stack, probably cast the Azura here, would
So
be
they've
my
hit
guess.
the cast 5 trigger because Nagmalada's already on the top revealed.
I probably would have helped.
Ooh, Sid, that's a new addition to this deck.
Okay.
So Sid Hayes, the bane of anybody who lives or dies off of their forward entry effects.
Now, is the cast 5 trigger a May?
When you cast, reveal the top card of your deck. This character
Right.
you may play onto this.
So,
It's not a requirement.
so I guess he's just kind of leaving it there because he doesn't want to have the monster in his hand. And then,
That or he wants another win backup
Yeah.
instead, because this will put him up to 3 ice.
I don't think that's too much of a problem, being that the Moogle does tap for wind. But
I'm curious to see his decision making after this game. But yeah, I'm curious how much Sid Randell is going to put pressure on Connor here. Obviously, the LB deck doesn't really do anything now because they all live off of entry effects.
yeah.
And Connor has already hit.
Whoa. No entry effects.
Connor remembering what his opponent's cards do there.
So, Irvin,
Will apply some pressure on swing in the next couple of turns.
yeah, unless we can now see the see that Sid Hayes, because if we see that Sid Hayes, that Irvin won't do very much.
Yeah, I guess that might be the other backup that Preston was waiting for, because I think he has got one of the other backup Sids that can grab you the Sid Hayes. So it might be that he wants to save the space for that. But we'll have to see what kind of play style Preston wants to take here. He's still got the Adia that he can swing with, which Mill 2 is never the best effect when you're in wind, because you might see some things gone that you want, but it can remove any forward almost that Connor's going to play.
Yeah, it could. I'm not sure if it's even worth it though, to be honest, because I think if you can get to 5 backups here, that's going to leave you in good stead, seeing as though you're going to be facing a lot of discard anyway.
Yeah.
So it looks like we got
Seymour, the other one, can stack whatever summon you want on top of your deck.
yeah. But I think in Connor's hand we got a Unalesca and a Rufus as well, so that could be pretty nasty. But the thing is, Dolphreeze doesn't do a lot here.
No, and Rufus is still going to take a turn to do anything because of the Sid Randell. So he is playing the Sid Hayes.
That's first cast, right?
Yes. So coming in with a VIKTORA.
Surges for second.
That's VIKTORA,
Oh, sorry, VIKTORA.
because that will remove.
So, well, that's cast 2, right?
Yeah, so get
Yeah,
double
so-
untap here.
So we get. So in theory, we could stack the Chocolate trigger. Yep. Atmos trigger, untap 2. You haven't used.
I think he can really hit cast 3 or higher here,
No.
though, because I think he's
But-
playing empty-handed at this point.
But he
Very
can.
untapped. So he's drawing off of that, but you're playing with 1 in hand.
Did he hit an Azura?
It looks like it.
Oh, he hit a
Chocomog. Okay.
Chocomog, so that's cast 3 though. Rosa reactivates.
So what do you get off Chocomog? The Moogle 11 S effect for whatever you want.
Yeah.
Is it Zidane coming in here, do you reckon? Or
I wouldn't hate it, but we do have to be wary that Connor has access still to a full LB deck.
as long as Sid Randell's sitting on the board, it's not gonna do anything.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
very true.
Connor kind of needs to see.
Oof, we're going.
So that lock does only cost 2 this turn if he plays it.
And he could, but he's maybe deciding against it.
I think Connor's best out here is probably Shinryu,
The problem is it still wasn't
but
searched.
it doesn't search. He has to double draw a Shinryu.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what else. So Citra, this is a card that Preston has been swearing by.
To be fair, I like the idea of it. So obviously, when you cast the summon, you set something to like 5, then -2.
It's also getting him to cast 5 here because the Citra is coming in as cast 4,
Yeah.
and she does specifically say cast on the card,
Yeah.
on the summon that she plays.
Exactly that.
So what will be the summon here that Preston plays? Chocomog.
And Azura, get back.
Azura again.
get back the Zidane, perhaps?
I don't know what other summons this deck really plays. I'm not sure what he bounced to give back. Alexander's a draw too.
Yeah.
I think he's really trying to... If you hit Zidane here, I think you're in a really good state.
Cactuars series pet card does not do anything here.
So what can he swing with this turn as well? Lulu, Rosa, and Sid Randell?
Yeah, exactly.
He's dull and freezing 2 things, so that's probably going to shut down Tyro and Shantoto, which leaves Connor with only access to the ice backups.
Yeah. To be honest, though, I'd be kind of inclined to dull freeze the Arcanist, just so you can potentially get more attacks in.
Potentially hits the Asura off the reveal, and then draws it from the Alexander. So not a bad option there.
Yeah, and again, in theory, he can now reactivate all his backups, but he will have to discard for it. I would be inclined to kind of just leave it there.
So he's discarding 1 anyway.
Yeah.
But I think you just have to take that hit.
So I would probably leave it here, go to combat, do some dull freeze, do some attacks. Yeah, so he's definitely going after the Arcanist and the...
So saying, I imagine 3s can't attack because that will limit the most. I think only
Yeah.
Sid Randell can swing this turn now.
Yeah.
But no, you were right. He did go after the ice backups.
It just makes sense because they can actually do something. Yes, you've got the others that colour fix, but... And sad, that damage, though, because Connor doesn't care about seeing a backup go to damage.
No, because he's not going to be able to play anyway. It would only be discard fodder here.
Yeah.
So he is hard playing the Asura.
Oh, what's...
Reactivate your backups.
How will we react? Oh, just for reactivation of Asura, sure. To be honest,
I think I would have just rather finished with 1 in hand there with the Asura ready for next turn.
Yeah, probably cast it and maybe get the Zidane back.
Or that, yeah.
But that's...
See, I think he's got Connor quite well on the back foot here because
Yeah.
there's no Arcanist to protect him this turn. Kind of needs some blockers. Is that a pass straight over to Preston there? So he taps Chocolate in response. So let's
Yeah.
see what he can do with 2 cards here.
Connor really on the back foot here. Dan just exploding off for Storm.
So depending on the X's, I think there is potentially lethal here because Dan does have 6 attackers.
Yeah, I think again the problem is that Sid Randall really did shut Connor down hard.
He had to play he played the Shanto too early, which I think was probably the right decision at the time. But now when you set up a board like this,
Yeah.
it's a really tough situation for Connor because without seeing Cymru, he doesn't have another board wipe, and Cymru's not searching you the other Cymru.
Yeah, exactly that. So we are now seeing
Seymour
the
is coming in.
Yeah. What do we put on the top?
Just any summon you want to draw, right?
Yeah.
Another Alexander, maybe?
I mean, he's still
Chocomog,
Chocomog,
okay.
yeah, for the Moogle, of course. And it's
So yeah, you can cast it for 1, get another Moogle 11, and immediately tap the Moogle 11 to search whatever you want.
Zidane. I think Zidane would be the thing now. Yeah.
So that's that.
Activate.
Untap. So now you immediately draw it.
Yeah. Can he? Yeah, because we're going to get to cast 2 now.
So this is cast 2.
Activate
Untap
2.
both.
Yeah. Get Zidane. Get the Moogle. Get Zidane. Do it. Finish him.
I think this is probably game at this point.
Yeah.
To have to see what the experts are. Obviously, I imagine with there being lightning, there's still going to be some Odin the experts in Connor's deck, but I think he's kind of banking on hitting 3 of them.
Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. Although I think maybe Connor, if I just saw correctly there, does have potentially the thing that loses the new Shiva, where all characters opponent controls loses abilities.
Their abilities.
If it was, though, I would have probably cast it already.
No, I think he's got the previous one that is you pay 1, dull and free something,
okay.
remove 4 ice from.
Shame.
Because I don't think did the new one have a full art?
It did. Yeah, it did. And
Well, it's this set or last set. I'm trying.
this set, I think. Yeah.
Oh no, the one he's got in
Oh,
hand. It's one of the
last
last 2
sets,
Shivas.
yeah.
I'm just I can't remember which way round they were.
Does he have the ice summon ice characters in Break Zone to be able to
Tapping again. To
Zidane? No.
comes the Chocmog. The Chocobo. Sid.
Cities, and it gets
Well,
here.
You get
Okay.
Cities, but you're not able to play it. So that is cast 3 for the turn to reactivate all your backups.
Again, though, I mean, I still probably would have gone after the Zidane here because it feels like it's just crushing right now.
Just mill your opponent another further 2 cards.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is thinning his deck quite well, so the chance of hitting one soon might be quite high. So there's a lot. So that's another.
Wow, we're going after the Earth CP here. Here comes the Shiva.
So it is the Shiva of dull and free something. So Connor's potentially going to get 2 casts of this, I think, if he's got enough ice cards in his break zone.
Can't even see which Shiva is. There's so many.
It is
This one,
that
right?
one there.
Yeah.
So dull and free is a character. If you remove 4 ice cards, you get to add it straight back to hand. So obviously with Shantoto and Tyro, he's going to be able to do this twice if he wants to.
Also, I'm sure that Jacob at home will really appreciate this Shiva, and he knows why.
Should we explain?
No,
Nope,
no,
okay.
no explanations needed. He knows.
Okay.
He knows.
Well, yeah, I know Connor had at least one of those Shivas because he traded it from me.
Yeah.
There was a big fight over Connor and Jacko, both which one were going to get it off me first, and Connor won out.
Oh, poor Jacko. And Jacko, wherever you are, I hope you're listening. Come back to us soon, my dude.
Oh, another whiff on the cast 5 from Preston, which
I mean,
the deck showing how well it can do without getting free plays from Rosa in this situation.
yeah.
But Connor locked out of all of his backups apart from Emina here. This is looking like a rough game. So how many attackers are there from Preston here? I think he's got exactly enough, depending on the Expert. So there's an Odin.
Okay,
So
so
it's a straight removal, but what do you remove?
Rosa,
here?
you hit the Rosa here.
Is it Rosa or Sid Randell?
Well, the Rosa can't be targeted, and you don't really care if it's still frozen right now. You need to stop the attackers. Oh, yeah, okay. No, we
So
did
Sid
also.
means if Connor lives this turn,
Yeah.
he can potentially play something.
I don't think he does, though. Does he? Yeah, no. No.
And that's game there because Surges
Yeah.
can still attack as
Yeah,
well.
that's why I would have hit the Rosa personally. But,
So the Rose is only protection from abilities, isn't it?
yes, it is.
Oh, 8, he overkilled.
Yeah, overkill. Absolute masterclass there from Preston on
And
that one.
that Sid Randell is definitely something I've
Yeah.
not seen Preston play before. It's a really good tech option.
Yeah, I think Taylor was saying in the chat that was played on Saturday at Newport. So
Okay,
Yeah.
I must have missed that one where he was playing it there. But
I didn't come across Preston, if I'm honest. So
Sid Hayes is very much showing that it's a card to. Sid Randell is very much showing it's a card to put in decks running ice now because so many decks nowadays are living off entry effects.
I'm gonna run like an Ice Earth, Ice Wind, Sid Randell, and Sid FFBE list. Play all you want for free, or they don't play at all. That's what I'm gonna do, guys.
Are you cheating on me and take 9,000 damage, please?
Until I can get my Sid Randell, I knew he cheating nothing. But guys, we have got just under 12 minutes on the round, so we'll get Preston over here for a quick chat. Let's talk through that masterclass. We'll be with you shortly.
Have a good one.
And we are back with the winner and putting on an utter masterclass from round 1, Mr. Dan Preston. Dude, talk us through it.
To be fair, I top decked like a demon early on. Like to hit the only being on 2 backups, 1 ice, 1 wind, or ice wind. To hit an Every into a Moogle after a Shantoto was kind of like, all right, okay, cool. And then the next turn to hit an Atomos into an Izana, it was like, okay. And then it just the momentum kept going. I was a bit binning the Izana to play the Lulu, to play the Sid Randell on the back end of it. I was a bit, do I do this? Don't I do this? But I was scared of the Rufus and the, like if he was playing Rug, that with the Unalesca down, it was like, well, you're going to just start.
Make you bin your hand at that
Yeah.
point, yeah.
So it was kind of like, I get it was a win more play, but it was more of a security because, yeah, okay, I'd seen the backup Shantoto, so I've already dealt with 1 board wipe. But like he said, he shouldn't have discarded the Ixion earlier in the game, but he did, knowing that he had the Lightning Limit Break and Man in Black.
Yes.
But then Sid Randell kind of turned that off. So that was unintentional, but thankfully did work for me.
That was a new card to see you put in compared to the last time you streamed, and it did
Yes.
a lot of work this game because it really made Connor think about what he could play.
Well, originally I was trying out the 16, Opus 16, and unite the 2 cost that bounces, and then to plays the Citra, because I also play Nana.
Yeah.
So it was a way that I could play Mist Dragons and Amis on my opponent's turn, but it's just that little bit too slow with Giga Wall, Full Color Wall, and Knights with Ramza. So it's just that little bit too slow to be able to deal with that. So I kind of decided that would be the tech piece that I would take out to replace. Specifically, it was for the Newport store celebration because I knew that a lot of our guys do play things like Giga Wall, Ramza Knights, and a lot of ETB effects. That it's like the Soiree backup line has kind of disappeared a bit. So at least I haven't got to worry about the Elvis.
Yeah, a lot of the decks you can play now, like
Yeah.
the fact that it stops all entry triggers can shut a lot of things down.
So obviously your first Rosa cast as well, you hit your Nagmalada there. Any particular reason? Was there, I'm guessing, no other targets for it? Or?
One, it was no other targets, and two, I would have had a Uke and Nagmalada, which are ice only, which is also why I was reluctant to play the Seymour. I only played the Seymour at the end of the game when I knew I could definitely draw the next card, and it would win me the game, because I don't want to be in a position where I've got Luso, one-cost Chocobo, Asura, and another one-cost card, that you kind of end up bricking yourself out of it because you can't pay those one costs on curve. You haven't, like I did at the end. I had to discard the Lulu to play the Asura. Obviously, he was going to make me discard anyway with the Scaletoad, so it was like, well, I might as well bin them and get my backups back, just in case I get any X-Burst and hit a Chocomog, go and search, or Chocolate counters and keep on curve with that and set myself up for the next turn.
Seymour seems like a good card for you to steal, considering the amount of draw you can have, and the fact you can just go, I want this summon next.
And with Chocolate already having the one counter on it, that's pretty much where I planned that ahead, was if I can get the activate all my backups with the Asura, pass the turn, put a counter on Chocolate, I know I can just straight into, if I brick, I can straight Seymour, second counter on Chocolate, ever hit it back up to draw that guarantee, Chocomog, search, Moogle 11, and then off I go. But again, like I said, I did get quite lucky. I didn't get lucky on the 5-cost Rosa triggers and things.
Yeah, I think you missed on all of those, apart from the Nagmalada, which you didn't want to play.
Well, it's just a flex that you could do it without the Rosa triggers, right? So
you need this extra effect on my cards.
I did it in Store Celebration with just Rosa, 3 backups, nothing else. I managed to 7-cast Luso. But my Rosa trigger 5th cast was a lock, so it was really like punishing.
We saw you kind of force Connor to use the Shanto too early. But then the fact you were able to build a board of basically 8 to 9 forwards in 2 turns was quite the showing there.
You've just got to at this current time. Whether you've got like things like Gigawall and stuff like that, not so much against obviously the Ice Earth matchup, but because he's making me discard, it's kind of like, well, I'll play no-handed and make sure I can be efficient as possible across the board. But then obviously in the aggro matchups like Gigawall and Knights and stuff, it's I need to like for like match you. So I dictate the blocks. I was really scared of the Arcanist though, because when I seen it come down, I was like, hang on. Everything is 3 costs.
I'm not playing Gigawall, but they all cost 3.
And I was like, I'm going to deck out here. So it was kind of like, I've got to try and force this before I get to combat with Sid Hayes. Because otherwise, he's just before combat every turn, you can't attack with 3s. And it's just like, I need to be more active with it, which is why I was trying to hunt for the lock at one point to try and get it before the Sid Hayes trigger.
Yeah, because we spoke about that a bit, and I was like, even though you've got a lot of 3 drops, you do also have a couple of 4s and 2, so he can't fully shut you down from swinging. And the fact you're able to just easily remove any blockers meant that you could always get the damage through.
I think it was also quite unfortunate for Connor as well, because obviously he did hit the Odin the Expert. So it's like, well, even if you kill the Rosa to stop her attacking, you're stuck with Sid Randell on the board, you can't do anything anyways.
I protected Rosa.
Only protection from abilities, though, right?
The X-Burst isn't an ability, is it?
No,
it's still coming from the side.
Fair.
But it's the case of, even if he kills the Rosa, there's not really, I don't really think there's much he can draw as an out at that point, so he kind of had to bank on hitting another one to stop you from...
I think his only outs were like...
I think we said double draw Cymru, but then you dull and froze all his backups that turn, at which point I was like, I think it might be too far gone.
Yeah, that's what he said. Like, when he seen the Odin, he was like, I was like, oh, does that trigger? Because obviously I'd seen it was like a conditional effect. And then it was like, yeah, but not enough. And then the minute the 6th one went down, I was like, is that... Because I was trying to counter it. I was like, is that game? And he was like, no, but it basically is, I'm going to scoop. And I was like, oh, fair.
Yeah, because even if he could have played something next turn with the Sid there, it's nothing to get him back into it. So.
And I think we were like, Cymru is his only out, but then when you dull and froze the backup line, it was like, it's never going to get this off again. And with Sid Hayes out, Arcanist was never going to be able to stop him swinging again, or stop you swinging again.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Again, congratulations on your first round victory.
Very well done.
Best of luck for the rest of the night and in round 2. Guys, we will take a short 5-minute break while we wait for round 2, and we'll be back.
Catch you shortly.